Going for today, and I did want to make sure that I covered this for you guys. I'm sure there are more than enough guides and tutorials and things like that all over YouTube, but just in case anybody might have possibly missed something, I wanted to make sure I gave my little 2 cents on Nova. She is one of my favorite frames, if not my favorite female frame. She's not my most effective female frame, but her and Banshee are easily my favorite female frames. Frost being my favorite male frame. Nova, I go way back. I love this Warframe. Some of the things that she's best for is she can have a little tankiness to her. What's nice about Nova, like I said, she can have a little tankiness to her. She can slow enemies down. She can speed the enemies up. She can take a mission from being super difficult to being super easy. She can take a mission from being super easy to putting it on like turbo mode from Street Fighter. She can cut the enemy's health effective health in half. She can charge up like little nukes in a way, and she can teleport. She's super mobile. And there's like little tricks that you can kind of use to kind of get your Nova on, is a better way of putting it. Out of every single build that I put on Nova, I'd say it's really one mod that you need on any build if you're using Nova for the reason you're using Nova, because I don't really know anybody who use Nova outside of speeding up or slowing down a map, right? And that is molecular fission. Now molecular fission, what this does is when this is for an enemy, when killed, primed enemies will restore a null star charge and have a 100% chance of restoring an additional one, right? Well, why is that important? That's because null star, what this does is it creates an antimatter particles that orbits Nova and seek nearby enemy target, or seek nearby targets. Basically what it does is, I'll just explain it to you. You can see it's at 5 and then somewhere it's at 90%, right? 90% is when you have 16. And on this one, I have 16, right? So what happens is these little things are they're hovering around you, and when you get close to an enemy, right, they start to jump off you and basically leave. So there's 1, there's 2, now I'm down to 13, now I'm down to 12, now I'm down to 11, right? Well, that happens when you're near an enemy. Well, if you kill a primed enemy, and primed means that they have that blue glow on them, if you kill them while they're in this state, then you start getting those charges back, right? So there's 10, 12, 16, 15, 16. So you're gonna hover between 15 and 16 because only one comes off you per second. So if you can kill, I don't know, 1 enemy per second, primed enemy per second, then you'll always be at an 85 to 90% damage reduction, provided you have enough duration, right? So let me pull this up real quick. So with null star, right, if you look, it says it gives you 5% damage reduction to Nova's health, stacking up to 90%. Well, 5 times 10 is what is it? 5 times 10 is 50, and then so you need 18. I apologize. So and 8 times 5 is 40. 40 plus 50, 90. So you need 8. So you'll need like crazy duration, probably 300% duration or something crazy like that, right? Which is fine. Right now I'm rocking 16, which is 80% damage reduction, but it's still an 80% damage reduction that stacks on top of adaptation, right? So she got a little bit of tankiness to her, and this is the one I use for this is the one I personally use for Plague Star. The reason why I use this one, this is really the only reason you want to have range on a Nova, and that is because by doing this, you literally go so freaking far, like so far, it's insane. If you look, just by me going from here, I would end up way over. Now, if you were in the plains, this thing, I want to say it's like a 70 meter range or something like that. It's a pretty big range, and that's with 190%. So if I come here, wormhole, that is a 95 meter range. Okay, so you can go really, really, really far, and that does make a huge difference when you're in the plains, particularly doing Plague Star, because you can teleport other objects too. What's also nice about it, and this was actually via an update, speaking of wormhole, is that you can shoot through that thing. You can shoot through it now, right? Now, I'm not sure if I would actually ever use that personally, But it's nice to know, you know. So let's say, for example, we have short range. Right? I'm going to do a short range one so we can see. And I'm going to put this like up here, I guess, right? And I'm going to shoot this, and it's going to come out that side. So, okay. Okay. Up, you saw it? It's kind of hard to see. Let me see. What if I did this? No, you can't see it. That's okay. There we go. So I'm shooting this way. Right. Right. That's pretty cool. You can see it go up the teleporter. All right. So anyway, so you can do that as well. That's enough playing with that. Now this thing, I've gotten questions about this. What do you use this for? Well, I didn't. It felt kind of weird. I didn't know if it was an update or not because I never use it. But you can throw a lot of these out now, which is pretty cool. But by themselves, they don't really do a lot of damage, and they do follow your reticle, by the way. But one thing to note about these is that you can charge them. So if you shoot one and you shoot it and you shoot it, as you see, I just added damage to it. So if this was to hit a bunch of enemies, boom, that explosion right there is going to do whatever damage I did to it, plus the damage that it's going to do. Let me show you. Let me just give you a description of what it is, so you guys can know a little bit more about it. There used to be a way to turn it purple too, which is really nice. You would hit it with a fully charged opticore with a ribbon, and it would turn purple, which is weird. But yeah, so damage absorption up to 8 times. That's pretty sick. So I guess it multiplies it by 8. So let's go ahead and see what that damage looks like. Now we're gonna use these Kuva Scorpions. Let's use something else, because we're so used to seeing these guys. So I want to give you guys kind of a good idea on what they look like, or what the damage looks like. Oh, Hammer Girl's calling. Come on. Actually, let's do this. Okay, I hit it with something. Come down. Yeah, so that is what that damage does. All right. And that was one shot from a Brahma. Keep in mind, you can shoot this multiple times. And there's a guy from back in the day, his name is Noob Showtek. And what he used to do is he would get Nova and he would hit this little null star with this god awfully huge gun or something. And he would hit like 8 billion. Like, it's not 8 billion. He would hit like 800 million with this. Just because of the sheer amount of strength that thing actually has. Right, so Nova as a whole is a really good Warframe. Let me kind of give you guys a demo of like how you might end up playing her. So in this case, I'm gonna have slow Nova. I'm gonna pull out some relatively difficult enemies, and maybe a VIP or two. So let's get the Ambulance. Actually, we can do it like this. Let's get the Ambulance. Let's get a Nox out here. All right, let's get a couple of them actually. And let's get 2 regular Noxes. And then let's get the Eviscerator. I think I spelled that right. Yep. We're gonna get some Eviscerators, maybe 8 of them. And then we're gonna get, let's get a Nullifier. Yep, at least one. Let's get a couple Moas, I guess. Let's get a Corrupted Ancient Eximus. And let's get a... let's get a couple disruptors in there. All right, cool. And then I guess a MOA thing. All right, cool. So let's unpause the AI. And basically what should happen, I got a Riven to kill a sentient without taking damage. Limbo. Or Nova. Or Rhino. You just do Rhino. He doesn't take damage. So usually in a situation like this, first things first, you're going to want to take out that Null fan they're all fighting. I keep forgetting that does not work. Okay, so we're going to have to do this a little different. First things first, let's take out the Disruptor. Let's take out the Ambulance. And we're just going to do some Noxes, I guess, and some Grineer Folk. Do him. Do her. Let's do a couple of him, I guess. And then just this guy, I guess. All right, that's fine. All right, so we got some heavy hitters. Usually the first thing you're gonna do is turn on your first ability, and then you're gonna hit your fourth, and just kind of try to stay alive for the most part. Once everything is slow, right? Now you can kind of do whatever. Why do I still have this Legion on? Yeah, they're going to be going so slow. I can actually come here and switch weapons, hopefully. And the color. Whoa, the energy. All right, cool. And also, if you take notice, they should be dying a lot quicker. And this is because their health effectively is cut in half. Now, keep in mind, there is a duration on how long they're going to be slow. Right? It's a very long duration. I want to say it's like 70 seconds or something like that. Let me see. It is 75 seconds. So for 75 seconds, they'll be moving at this speed, which is fine. I mean, that should give you long enough to actually get a kill. Oh yeah, he's one of them infinite guys. But this, for the most part, is what you're going to be doing with a Nova. Ooh. Oh, I didn't have that on. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, oh, that little thing I just did right there, I thought I'd throw that out there. So if you're moving through a big hallway, it's just something I kind of got used to over time. I don't know if you give it a name, but if you just throw that out and you aim glide, like you can pretty much do, and you can do it multiple times too, which is pretty nice too. So, right, so. Right, kind of help you get to your destination. So at least that's what I use it for. I wish I had a little bit more range, but skipping that amount of space is still cool in my book. So that, I mean, that's pretty much Nova in a nutshell. Does she work on Demolus? Yes, she does work on Demolus. So this is the primary Warframe that I use for disruption missions. So let's say there was a Juggernaut for whatever reason, right? We're gonna unpause the AI. Hopefully it moves around and stuff. Okay, it does move. All right, so as you can see, it'll slow down, but then if it hits its nullification, then it will, as you can see, it can pop out of it. So you will have to hit it again. One thing to note though is that it can actually stack on top of Void Blast, right? So this will make it go 80%, or it'll go 75% slower, and then your Void Blast takes it down another 80%. So this thing is creepingly slow, right? So if I go boop, it's slow, and if I hit the fourth, now it's even more. So you see how slow that is? So Nova is extremely good in these disruption missions, and she can cut their health in half, right? So there's that. She can slow bosses down, which is really helpful in certain bosses, right? Certain bosses is good. Certain bosses is kind of like, I don't know if I want to do all of that. And the reason why you want to keep that part in mind as far as the slow Nova is because you might slow them down, but they might have a protected state, right? And if they have a protected state, well, now you're stuck with a boss moving slow as a snail that you can't kill, right? So you want to use this very strategically. Now, as far as speeding the enemy up, this is when you're doing things such as Hydron, right? So let me pull up a Speed Nova. And this is probably the fastest you're ever going to go, which I'm honestly not even sure if that's was that negative 60%. So let me see. Let's do this. Oh, I can't. Let's just. I just want to see if there really is a difference like that. Okay. So let me take this off for a second, and then I'm gonna put. Oh, still charged though. Negative 30%. Yeah. So power donation does. Okay. So yeah. So this is the fastest she's gonna go. So I got a 10% power strength. Having negative power strength on your Nova does make them speed up. In the case of my Nova, they are going to be going 60% faster, which is a lot faster. But the reason you would want to do something like this is because you would be dealing with a lot of trash on the map, right? Like just a ton of trash. They'll be level, I don't know, 30 or whatever, right? And it's like, dude, I don't feel like waiting for these guys to get here. They're on the other side of Hydron. I need them over here as fast as possible. You're gonna hit your speed Nova, and they are going to trek over here so ridiculously quick. Look, he's already over here. So now you can just kill the enemies as they come to you. And that is why you use a speed Nova. Because you want the enemies to come to you, because regardless, you're gonna go 1, 2, they're gonna 3, they're gonna die in like one hit, so it doesn't matter if they're, you know, plus they can't, it's not like they're gonna kill you. You see what I'm saying? It's not like they're gonna just body you like that, even though they're moving 100 miles an hour. Right? So that's when you use the speed Nova. So, I mean, that's pretty much Nova in a nutshell. There's not really too much more to her. You know, that's pretty much it, just in case anybody had any questions about Nova. As far as her synergies, I'm going to let you guys get as creative as you wish with that. Just keep in mind, she does effectively double the damage you do. Effectively doubles the damage. Effectively, what happens is primed enemies take double the damage. Just keep that in mind, and then you want to keep her first ability on, and you want to keep that number as high as possible in the case of survivability situations. Her third ability, you're probably going to be using it more so for maneuvering and mobility. You can use it for trick shots if that's something that you want to get good at. You can definitely do that. And then this is kind of like a small nuke. It does work on bosses, but it's a little rough to aim. But I'll tell you this much: if you do happen to get good with the antimatter, then you are going to be probably the most beast Nova that I know, because I don't know anyone who can do headshots with that thing, let alone really get a good, you know, thing with it. So anyway, cheers to you guys. The Prime Pack is out. Go ahead and if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to see you guys build, see what you guys are coming up with. I will close this video on this. This is the build that I'm using for my Speed Nova. I am a huge fan of quick thinking. You can use whatever survivability that you would like and whatever synergies that you would like, but I have Prime Surefooted. I do use Arcane Guardian for extra survivability, and I do use Arcane Strike. That's just the damage that I like to put out. I do use Adaptation also, and Molecular Fission is kind of the staple. But the biggest takeaway for her speed and her slow, believe it or not, is duration, and this is because the range of her 4 is dependent on the duration. And the only thing the range stat will change on her 4th ability, which is, you know, probably why you'll be using her, is the explosion radius. So this is why this one has a lot of range, because I'm doing negative strength, and in order to get negative strength you have to add range. So naturally the explosion range is going to be, you know, 12 meters, whereas on this guy, Slow Nova, having negative 34, the explosion range is only 3.4. But that's one thing. Another note to take away is that for a Slow Nova, the maximum you need, I want to say, is 145 power strength, but 150, I have mine at 150, just, you know, it's pretty much all I need. But if you can get to 145 power strength, that's all you need. Any more than that and you're wasting capacity or resources or duration or efficiency or whatever your takeaway is to get a higher number, is where you're wasting it. If you're going for a molecular prime build, these are the two builds that I use. Both of them do have Prime Surefooted. I do use corrosive projection on this one because I'd rather reduce the armor. And actually, now I think about it, I kind of want to change that. I do have an aura forma in her because, you know, like, as I said, she is my favorite, one of my favorite Warframes. But I think rather than that, I would rather have, what was it? Growing power. I think I'd rather have growing power on there. I'll do, oh no, steel charge. Where's it at? Where is steel charge? Hey, is the packs in the market for you? I haven't checked, to be honest with you. I can check and get back to you, but I personally haven't checked. They should be. Wapily, he put out a video saying that everything was live, and that it's live on all platforms. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it should be. You know, once again, this is the one I use for Plague Star. And then this is the one I use just to play around with. Atom Bomb, this is literally just so, this is just to play with that ability. You don't need range. I don't even know why it has range on it. Don't ask, but yeah. So, but that's Nova. So, you know, if there's any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I will check on that Demon Gozer, and I will have to send you a message. If in PSN, I'll let you know in PSN if it's on there or not. But anyway, if you liked the video, like I said before, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is CS with DWP, and I'll catch you guys in the next piece of content. All right, y'all. Peace. Woo!